Hello and welcome to the Coming of Cage podcast, your Nicolas Cage movie review podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Derek, and that is your other host, Ryan.
It is, yeah. And if you're into the video side of this podcast, you may notice I look a little less hairy, and you're welcome. Unless you like the hair, and then I'm sorry.
I mean, I'm used to you more with the hair, so I'm more comfortable with hairy Ryan.
Me too.
You know, just
I
how
use it like a shield to cover up my insecurities. We get deep here on the podcast.
yeah. I mean, when I first met you, you had quite the beard.
It's changed since then for
Yeah.
sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But we're not here to talk about Ryan's facial hair. We are here to talk
Or
about.
are we? That's our other podcast.
Yeah, you have to get on the premium feed to.
Right. You have to subscribe to the Patreon to get that.
Oh God. Oh man, back in the day before the Coming of Cage podcast, and we had a whole separate podcast venture. We did have a Patreon back then, but now we've got nothing, no ads, no Patreon. This is just a thing we do out in the ether.
We're just raw dogging it out here.
That's right, raw dog and Nicolas Cage movies.
That's right. That's what we should rename the podcast, Raw Dog in the Cage.
Hey, I mean, we workshopped a lot of names.
Do a whole readjustment of the podcast.
We can rebrand it episode 100.
There you go, rebrand it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we'll get 20 movies under the raw dogging moniker.
Hey man, he's still working. He's still
True.
working. By then, who knows? It's 60 year or whatever.
Yeah.
So today we are talking about the 2017 action crime thriller Arsenal.
Is that how you would describe this action crime thriller?
That's what IMDb describes it as.
Oh, okay.
I would describe it as confusing at best. And it may or may not be a sequel or prequel to Deadfall.
Or just tangentially related.
This is the Eddie King multiverse that I think we have created here with this film.
Yeah.
The IMDb description does not really do it justice. It says, quote, a Southern businessman attempts to rescue his kidnapped mobster brother.
Correct.
I mean, it's not a lie, but it's not a great description. Nicolas Cage plays Eddie King, who is a incarnation of the same character he plays in 1993's Deadfall, which we covered on episode 67 of the show. This is episode 88, so you can go back a little bit there if you're curious. So this movie co-stars John Cusack. It is his fourth movie with Nicolas Cage, and we have now covered all four of those movies.
And this is his biggest miscast of any of the movies that he's done with Nicolas Cage, for reasons that we will get into.
Do you remember who John Cusack plays in adaptation at all?
Okay. No, I don't remember a whole lot of adaptation outside of Nicolas Cage, though, to be honest. It was a really interesting movie, but he was the most interesting part. So,
well, that's certainly true. I meant to look it up and I forgot, and so I was just trying to remember because he's in Con Air, obviously. Yeah. Everybody remembers his Con Air role. That was a pretty big one. But he's also in the Frozen Ground. And so that one was where John Cusack plays the serial killer. Spoiler alert. Vanessa Hudgens stars in it. So this is the last one. He plays Sal, who I guess is a cop. All right. Well, anyway, let's dive into Arsenal and figure out what this movie is. So
to be clear, I just want to touch base. You mentioned already that this is kind of a weird successor to Deadfall because he's playing the same character. But if I recall right from Deadfall, Eddie died in that. He got his face boiled in a fryer or something, right?
Yeah, an active vat of fryer oil.
And there's no he doesn't have a burned face or anything in this movie.
No deformations, scars, nothing. So honestly, as I was watching it, I thought it was a prequel to Deadfall. Just because he's in Deadfall and he apparently died in Deadfall. So in my mind, I'm like, well, if he died in Deadfall, this must take place before that.
But then right? there's a 23-year later time skip.
Yeah, but I don't I didn't really sit down and think about what year does Deadfall take place versus what year does the beginning of Arsenal take place. Right? Deadfall's a 1993 movie. Does it take place in 1993?
I mean, I think everything in the movie, there's no futuristic technology or like super old pre 1993 technology, so I assumed it took place around the time.
Okay. Do we know at the beginning of this movie what year it's supposed to be?
I mean, based on the arcade games and whatnot, I would at the minimum say early 90s,
But it could have been earlier, right?
slightly, but
Okay.
not enough to really like because he was alive in he was in this movie after that too. So
Well, I know that's why like it's the timing doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand how this movie relates to Deadfall.
it also is like a totally different character because
He,
I mean, if go listen to our Deadfall episode because that was one of the cagiest performances that we've gotten from him, period. But he he had a wig and a prosthetic nose and wore these sunglasses the whole time, which he also did in this movie. Well,
mhm.
he didn't wear the sunglasses the whole time, but
No,
um and he does like kind of a weird voice, but it was so much, it was like this dialed up to 10. This is if that was a 10 in Deadfall, this is like a 5 or a 6. It's not anywhere
right.
near as over the top and crazy as he was in Deadfall.
Which again made me think like maybe this is earlier and he hasn't kind of become unhinged yet. Like it
Or
just
maybe
it
he was on cocaine the whole time in Deadfall, and in
maybe
this movie he's
it's just not.
not as high, even though we see him doing drugs.
I don't know, man. It doesn't make sense. He's playing the same character. I don't really think that that can be argued, but it can't exist in the same timeline. It's got to be like an alternate reality.
Yeah, and we're not going to dig into the multiverse of Eddie King. I mean, I think that what probably happened was they wrote this movie without Eddie King, and Nick was just going to play like a gangster character, and he went back and thought about his past and had this idea to bring Eddie King back as this in this movie, and they just plugged that character in without really because not there's not really anything that ties this movie to Deadfall that
No,
can't be like hand waved
no,
away,
yeah,
you
no,
know. So I think
no.
that's probably what happened. It was probably a Nick Cage thing. He's like, "What can I do? Oh shit, I played this drug dealing kind of gangster guy already once."
I
That's
mean,
probably what happened. Knowing how Nick operates.
I, I guess, but it's not the only time he's played that type of criminal
No, but
character.
it's like one of the few times he's really gone like ham on a
That's
character.
that's certainly true. But all you had to do is just give him a different name, and then there's no problem.
But that he wanted, I'm assuming he wanted to play the same character. You know what I mean? If you give
I
him a different
guess.
name, it's not the same character.
Yeah,
Anyway, I don't
yeah.
want to spend half the podcast debating that because it's such a weird, thing.
hmm
And seems like a totally different character other than aesthetically.
Yeah.
Anyway, right, if you haven't watched this podcast before, weird choice to start, but I take notes throughout the movie and we kind of just go through those notes and highlight plot points, talk about what happens, anything interesting that happens, or just the general plot. And right at the beginning of the movie, we get 4 title screens.
hmm
We get an intro of a guy who we don't know who he is, like an adult, cocking a gun, while like standing next to a pier,
Yeah.
and we don't get any context.
No, something about a brother. That's all we get.
Yeah, yeah, he's monologuing or something. I can't remember exactly what's going on,
It's
but
a voiceover.
a
Yeah.
voiceover, yeah. But then we go what seems to be back in time, following some kids, very very like Sandlot looking time period. They seem to be brothers. Well, there's 3 people. 2 of them seem to be brothers, and one seems to be like a friend of the older brother.
hmm
And basically, the older brother just abuses the shit out of the younger brother. At one point, he calls him a little bitch when
Yeah.
he offers him an arcade, like a quarter for the arcade. And the brother gets really excited and starts to take it from him. And he slaps the shit out of the little brother and calls him a little bitch. And then they go to the arcade, play some games, and turn in their tickets. and the older brother gets a bunch of baseball cards and gives those to his little brother. So I'm not sure what it was trying to establish with this beginning. This is an abusive relationship, but also he's nice to him. So it was a really confusing intro scene.
I mean, it clearly sets up a toxic relationship, right? The brother's an ass. He just is, and he is throughout the movie. Really, he's an ass, and he still loves his brother, and has been, I guess, raised in this world where he doesn't know how to act, decently towards his brother. Is kind of the only way I could take it.
I guess. Well, eventually they go home, I assume it is.
Yeah,
And the older brother walks in first and sees that his parents or grandparents, whatever they were, have committed suicide,
it's his uncle.
or it was a murder suicide or something like that.
Yeah,
Um, and so when his brother comes in, he tries to give him a bunch of quarters to go to the arcade, and then calls him the slur, R slur.
yeah. Hmm.
Um, did we count that as casual discrimination on our bingo card?
Historically, we would have counted that. So,
Yeah.
I did.
We put a question mark on it because we couldn't remember. It's been a little while. Um, and I say that happily that it's been a little while, but unfortunately, here we are.
Yeah.
And 2017 movie. Um, but
Yeah, I
yeah,
don't know if they thought they were being true to the time frame that it took place in. I don't know, but it's still not good.
I wouldn't have batted an eye if he called him some other word that didn't have to be some sort of a derogatory term towards a certain group of people.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
But
I mean, they're brothers. You could have called him a jerk or an idiot or dumbass or any
right.
number of
It's an
non,
R-rated movie. He can call him anything.
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Um, so then he goes to go look for his brother at the arcade, I think is what's happening. And he ends up going through the arcade, and then it's very weird. He goes through the arcade, and then it's like the camera is like in front of him.
Hmm.
And so you don't get a good view of the things around him, but it looks like he's going through the arcade, and then it looks like he's going through some sort of strip club attached
Uh-huh.
to the arcade. And then it seems like he's going into some sort of torture area that's like a maze made out of plastic sheeting,
Yep. Uh-huh.
which this is the first time we see a room covered in plastic sheeting in this movie, but far from the last.
It's a big set piece
Yeah,
for this movie.
they recycled this one like plastic sheeting room probably 5 times throughout the movie. I mean, there's so much plastic sheeting in this movie.
Yeah, so I guess it's one building that is part arcade, part strip club, part warehouse.
Right, which is, how all traditionally in the 90s, all arcades were attached to strip clubs because kids that love playing arcades love seeing boobs too. So they
Well, there
spend a lot of
was
money.
it also didn't seem like there was any like difficulty walking between
No,
them,
because this kid went right into the strip club with no issue and nobody stopped him.
right?
Yeah. And so he gets to the torture room, and Eddie King, Nicolas Cage, is in there, uh, beating the shit out of somebody for an unknown reason, probably some sort of money situation.
Yeah.
And I think we see him stick a lead pipe into the guy's mouth. He tells him to open up and puts the lead pipe into his mouth, and then starts swinging a baseball bat around, or like warming up with a baseball bat as if he's gonna hammer it through the back of the guy's throat, I think is the implication.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Um,
I think that happens. We just get it kind of off
Off
screen.
screen, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm like, that's not gonna kill the guy. Like, what is the end game with that particular method of beating the shit out of somebody?
I don't know. I mean, I think it's the mob kind of mentality, like, break your knees kind of
I
thing.
mean,
Like,
it's not even going to go through the spine, probably. It's probably just going to hit the spine.
I think
And
it's designed to knock the dude's teeth out.
how is it going to knock the teeth out if it goes straight back into
Well,
the back of his throat?
because he's biting down on it. He even tells him to bite down on it. They show a shot like of the teeth in the
That's true.
grooves. Like I think that's the goal is to like make it so the dude
I
can't
was
talk
thinking
and
that he
he
was like trying to knock it through the back of his throat, but the spine kind
yeah.
of stops that.
Yeah,
It's
I don't
unclear what he was going for. It's a very unusual torture or like, beat up a guy method that I've never seen before.
yeah.
And I hope I never see it again because it doesn't seem like it's really well thought out.
Mhm.
But right away we get on our bingo card Cage facial hair and Cage glasses.
Yep.
Um, And so this kid sees Eddie smash this guy up with a baseball bat, and then he starts running, and Eddie chases him down and is like, "You didn't see nothing, right, kid?" And the kid's like, "Yeah, mister." And apparently he adopted him at that point. And then we get cut to 23 years later,
Right.
where
Mhm.
we see a two-player baseball game. Okay, the logistics of this. Tell me this didn't bother you a little bit, because I know you. I feel like this bothered you a little bit. So they go to play. They meet each other up at this baseball diamond, and they have like three baseballs at the pitcher mound. And the one brother goes up to hit, and the other brother goes up to pitch. And so the brother on the second baseball like hits it a home run.
Mhm.
Who? What are we supposed to believe is the it happens during this? Are
Like
we
how do
supposed to
they
believe that brother runs and goes and gets that ball and
Oh,
comes back to play? Because they only
no.
have a limited number of baseballs. Was their whole plan to just hit three baseballs?
I mean, because one of them even goes like, "Hey, you can go get it," kind of thing. So I don't
Yeah,
think they're doing that. No.
right. So their plan was to just like walk all the way to wherever this baseball diamond is and then hit three baseballs and go home.
I mean, kind of. It seems like this is where we're introduced to the adult versions of these two brothers, right? And so we've got Mickey is the older brother, so he's the one who witnessed the torturing, and JP is the younger brother. He's the one who got to go play in the arcade. So Mickey, I guess, was in the military at one point. He's been in and out of work now. It's implied maybe he was dishonorably discharged
No,
because
it's
of
not implied.
issues.
He straight out. Somebody
Did they
straight out
say it?
says it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So clearly he's got behavioral problems. He's got drug issues, things like that. Um, and I think this is just JP's only way of like meeting with him one on one with
Right,
nobody
but
else around.
I get that. I totally get that. But I'm saying, why did they're just gonna hit three baseballs? That's their entire plan.
I don't know. I mean, I guess if it was me and my little brother, I don't think we're gonna knock all three of them out of the park. So I don't know.
So whoever's pitching is just gonna go grab the baseballs every time?
I guess I mean maybe if you do it
It seems
evenly,
super
then
one-sided. No, because they even say later in the movie that one's a better pitcher and one's a better hitter.
yeah, they take turns. I don't know, man.
It just seemed like, listen, if I spend time with my brothers and I have to go run off and get all the balls while my brothers just get to stand at the mound and knock them out of the park, that is not a fair relationship. I'm out.
But that's the whole premise of the movie
It's true. That
is
is kind of an outline of the movie. It's not a fair relationship. One
right.
person
So
is giving and one person just keeps taking. Yeah, I get that. Um, so we see Mikey after this game going to the pawn shop, and clearly he's hard up right now. And it's unclear what's going on with. It's like he tries to sell a Glock, but it's unclear where he got this Glock from. And the guy is like, "I'm full up on Glocks," which is something that a pawn shop would probably never say.
so I think I know where the gun comes from.
We know where the grenade comes from
I think
because
they
he says it
both
later.
right. Well, I think the gun came from Sal too.
Oh, okay. Well, so he has this gun, and the pawnbroker's like, "Nah, I can't do anything with this." And then he pulls a flashbang grenade, a military grade flashbang grenade,
Hmm.
out of this duffel bag that he's carrying it in, and he's like, "You want to buy this?" And he's like, "We don't have people come into our shops asking for flashbang grenades, so I don't know what I can do with this." And he tries to get him to buy it for like $800, and he's not having it. He doesn't buy it.
Yeah, because to your point, right? Like, I mean, how many Glocks would this guy have to have
Right,
to
for
be
him to be
like
like, "I'm
no
not taking
more?
this Glock. Yeah, I can't make money on this."
Right? Does he have like 1,000 of them in the closet or something
And
like
if he
that?
does he like just offer him $50? The dude's hard up on cash. Like, he'd probably take it.
Well, and clearly the way they talk, like he knows they know each other,
Yeah, they
right?
have a history.
This is one of those like it's small towns, nobody ever leaves kind of thing. So like they know each other. He's clearly needing help. Like help the dude out, give him a loan or something. You know, the flashbang. I mean, now like I have no idea what a flashbang is worth. No clue. Mickey claims $6,000.
That's what the government paid for it, is what he says.
Right? Now, I don't know if that's true or not because we find out later how he got it. So who knows if that's true. It is hard for me to believe that a single flashbang grenade is valued at $6,000. That's hard for me to believe.
Yeah.
Now, maybe
Well,
that's true.
I don't think that's a value. I mean, knowing government and military spending, it's very easy to say that it's probably, saying that they spent $10,000 on a toilet seat or whatever.
Yeah, that's like Pentagon, CIA stuff. This is like a flashbang from the local tiny town police department.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean? So, like, I don't know. But either way, he doesn't
Yeah.
sell the stuff.
So, and as soon as I saw this debate over this flashbang, I'm like, huh, that's never going to be back in this movie for sure. It's definitely not going to be used later in a climactic scene or anything. Don't worry. That was just for fun. We're just showing that for fun.
That's the Chekhov's gun.
Yeah, exactly. It's just going to exist in the background of the movie and never be used.
Never.
At this point, we're probably 25 minutes into the movie, and there's no plot. We have no idea what the plot is.
The plot is sad people.
Yeah, the plot at this point is that there's like two brothers that play two-player baseball and try and sell things to pawn shops.
Well,
and
and
they saw a suicide.
the brothers are also like obviously in very different sides of that coin, right? He's had the tough life. JP owns his own company. He's got a nice house, a wife, they've got a baby. So he seems to have it all together. He's successful. He is kind of the poster child of what success would look like in small town America. Mickey's the opposite.
Yeah. And I think this is where we start to get introduced to Cusack's character, Sal.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember if it was Mikey or JP that meets up with him at this point, but the only thing I could focus on was what John Cusack was wearing on his head. Did you have this problem too? I could not figure out what was going on for the life of me. My note says, is Cusack wearing a do-rag?
The answer is yes. That's the
Yeah, it does appear that he's wearing a do-rag. I think in this scene, particularly, this is one of the looks he goes back to. He's wearing a do-rag with a baseball hat on backwards.
Yeah, he wears that a lot. Yeah.
Keep in mind that by the time this movie came out, this is a probably 50-plus-year-old man.
Yeah, I guess I don't really know. Let's look at John Cusack. I have no idea. So he was born in 66. He's 4 years younger than Nick. All right. So 1966. So, that would put him at what? In 2016 that's when he would have been 50.
Yeah, so 51-year-old man. And they chose for his outfit a do-rag and a backwards baseball hat.
And like all black.
Yes.
But as we learned,
that's why I was saying it was hard to tell what he was wearing on his head, because it's a black do-rag and a black baseball cap.
And like a black coat. And like
yes.
he's a cop. And it's never really explained what kind of cop he is. Like, is he a detective? Is he like,
Crooked.
what is he?
Crooked, I think, is the type.
A little bit. I mean, certainly a little bit. But like, at no point do we see him in a uniform, in a cop car, or talking to another cop who isn't a year deep undercover. Like, so there's a little bit of part of me that's like, is he really a cop? Like, I don't know.
This is why I'm talking about this was such a miscast role. They clearly wanted somebody younger for this role.
Probably.
But like when John Cusack calls up, I guess you just say yes. I don't know. I can't imagine they were like, this role is written for John Cusack.
It's a weird movie, man. Because like I said, this is the fourth one that they're in together. They don't share a scene.
No.
Nick and John. So like, it's not like they were like, oh, we're excited to work together again. They were probably never on set together.
Yeah, that's probably accurate.
Right? So like, I don't know, man. It's a strange character in a strange movie. And to your point, up until this scene, there is essentially no plot other than life in this town kind of sucks. Right? And so the big reveal here is, I guess, that Mickey bought cocaine from somebody and JP loaned him money and he found out that that's how the money was spent. Now,
Yes.
this is
Yeah.
a big crux of the movie is this cocaine. And the part that I don't understand is, did Mickey buy $10,000 worth of cocaine or did he steal the cocaine? Because he's getting treated as if he stole it. Right? Like the guys break into his house to like, jack the cocaine and stuff like that. Did he buy it or did he rip it off?
I mean, he claims that he spent the $10,000 on it.
Right. So the money's gone. He claims that's what he spent it on, which is a weird thing to lie about, right? So like why then is the people he bought it from trying to steal it from him? It seems like a
It's a good
bad business
question.
model,
Yeah,
right?
it's
Like
a good question.
right? Like if you're the drug dealer, you want people to buy your drugs. I would think creating a system where you're going to rob the people who buy from you just seems like a bad business model.
Yeah. Agreed.
Okay.
I don't really have I feel like you pretty much nailed that. I don't really know anything to say beyond what you already said.
Okay. All right.
So the next scene we get post John Cusack is the two brothers at a baseball game. This is how they bond, apparently, over baseball. And I
Mm-hmm.
think they're there. I think JP's wife is there with him. Um, but there's like they're cheering and whatever, and there's another fan. It's that classic scene of the fan from the other team is like, "Shut up, you fucking suck," or whatever, talking shit about the team. And then you think it's kind of over. Mikey's getting kind of a hothead about it, but then the guy is like, "Tell your bitch to cheer for a better team next time," talking about JP's wife.
Yeah.
And Mike fucking punches this guy in the face and starts a little bit of a brawl. And then we cut to the next scene, and there's no
No
explanation
repercussions.
as to what this scene did, or like, did he get in trouble for punching the shit out of some guy at a baseball game? Did they get kicked out? Like,
I kept expecting that to come back in some way. Because Mikey, I mean, he's on the older side, but dude's jacked. Like this is Johnathan Schaech, I think is how you say his last name. He actually co-starred with Nick in 8 mm. He plays Mikey. Dude's in great shape. I wouldn't want to fight him. I'll tell you that much.
right?
But I kept expecting like there to be some type of repercussions for that scene. I will say this. This scene is the only scene in the movie that, at least that I can recall, that tells us where this takes place.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't figure it out for the life of me. I'm
No,
like,
I there was like a play there at one point it looked like New Orleans, and I know that Eddie was from New Orleans, so I
when
don't know.
they brought up New Orleans a couple of times,
Yeah,
and at the baseball park it says MGM Park, and there's a big hotel behind it. So my first thought was, wait a minute, is this in Vegas? I don't remember a baseball park being there, right? They're building one now, but we're talking in 2017, right? So I looked it up. That is now known as Keesler Federal Park in Biloxi, Mississippi.
good to know.
So that is where the AA Biloxi Shuckers play in the Southern League. So that's where this movie takes place.
Okay, that's good to know.
Well, for bingo, it matters because we have
It
both.
does, yeah.
Does it take place in New Orleans and does it take place in Vegas? And for a minute, I thought it could have been either one of them.
Right.
So,
So we get the robbery scene that Derek had kind of alluded to, where somebody breaks into Mikey's house, uh, beats the shit out of him. The robber asks him where the Coke is, and he says in the fridge.
mhm.
That's a joke, as if he was asking like where Coca-Cola would be.
But apparently he was serious
Yeah,
because that's
apparently he was
actually
serious.
where it
Yeah.
was. So like I
Um,
don't. So was it supposed to be a joke or did the
I don't
robber just
know. It's unclear.
incorrectly infer it? I don't know.
I mean, I would have inferred the same thing, to be fair. I'd be like, why is this guy being a smartass when we're just fucking him up right now? Um, but yeah, that happens. And then around the same time this is happening, JP, his wife is in a bathtub and he decides to climb in fully clothed on top of her. It reminded me a little bit of Throwback here. BBS. Was it BBS or Man of Steel?
One of the two. It's
Yeah.
exactly what I thought. It was the exact same.
I immediately was like, oh, they're trying to do a worse job of this Henry Cavill scene.
That's so funny. I had the exact same thought. Like I've seen this before.
Yeah, this is like a crappier version of that. Yeah,
Oh, that's funny. That's very good.
it was ridiculous. But yeah, it's implied that they have sex, but we don't really get
I mean,
any kind of
he's
confirmation.
fully clothed when he gets in the tub.
It does
So
make it more difficult, but not impossible.
no, that's true.
Okay, so around this time I noticed that there was this weird filter. Did you notice this? Was this on your version of the movie? On Tubi, at least, there's this weird green filter over a lot of scenes where it looks like literally somebody put like a green film gel over the
Mm.
screen and everything kind of looks green.
Yeah, so I watched it on DVD. I was able to find a used copy really
Yes,
cheap.
Derek owns the DVD and he had to justify it by saying that he found it really cheap. Anyway, continue.
No. I'm explaining because the disc is used, so it was kind of beat up, and I was nervous about whether or not it would play well. Um, I think for me, that was just like it's kind of like the filter they put on like when an American movie goes and a scene takes place in Mexico or whatever. Like obviously the sky looks different in this other country. It doesn't look like the sky here. I think they were just trying to be like, this is what a small town in Mississippi with poor people looks like, and it can't possibly look exactly the same as New York City.
But it's not through the whole movie, it's only
No, it's
specific
not.
scenes.
Yeah, that's certainly true.
And it's like glaringly bad when it's there too. There's sometimes when it looks like we're seeing it through TMNT mutagen
That's
and I'm
funny.
about to be a Ninja Turtle.
I definitely don't remember being that severe.
It was
Um,
pretty crazy.
maybe
But to
that's
be
in
fair,
the
you're also colorblind.
I am colorblind, and I was watching it on DVD. Maybe it's on the HD version. It looks more, prevalent. Some of those HD transfers are really bad.
Yeah.
Um, but at the same time, though, like later in the movie, there's some stuff that happens that also is extremely out of place and looks really bad. So it could just be the
The movie.
movie.
Yeah, I lean towards that. Um, but anyway, when after they beat the shit out of Mikey, he sees the car drive away and recognizes it. So this is the first place I really noticed that green filter was when he goes to this guy's house and
Mm.
starts beating the shit out of him, asking where the Coke is, and the Coke is already gone somehow in that time period. He's already gotten rid of it. Um, but it was around this time I was trying to figure out. I recognize this guy.
The robber
What do I
guy?
recognize? No, Mikey. I recognize this guy, and then I went, "Oh, I get it. It's Team You, Joe Manganiello."
That's rough, man.
That's not an insult. If somebody called me Team You, Joe Manganiello, I'd be so flattered.
Yeah, but you're not an actor. This dude is an
You're
actor.
telling me he doesn't look like Joe Manganiello?
That did not really cross my mind. I honestly think he looks more like Frank Grillo.
Those were the two. I said those both to my partner that I watched this with. I said he either looks like discount Frank Grillo or discount Joe Manganiello. He looks like if those two had a baby, and that is not an insult. Those are both very handsome men.
Well, fun fact, all three of these guys were in DC properties because our buddy Mikey here played Jonah Hex on the Batwoman show.
I recall.
So, oh, I guess
Um,
I guess also like Legends of Tomorrow.
yeah, that's where I know him from because I didn't
Yeah.
watch Batwoman. But um,
But he's been in stuff, you know. He's been in some
okay. I
stuff.
mean, he just looked like another actor to me. It was what it was.
Fair
That's
enough.
all it was. Um, so then we get a scene of a family dinner, and this is where we find out that the $10,000 thing happened. We find out that Mikey has a daughter,
Teenage daughter.
a niece to JP, and that his ex-wife, ex-girlfriend, mother. I don't think they ever clarify what she is really specifically.
Mother of his daughter.
Yes, that's all we know for sure.
Yeah.
They do not get along at all. They're constantly fighting. Um, it's awkward.
I'm
They're
kind of
trying
with
to
her
have
on
this
this one though. The dude's an ass.
Yeah,
So-
agreed. They're trying to, JP and his wife are trying to keep things together so they can have a family dinner. And JP really seems to value family.
Hmm.
Mikey seems a little less so, less scrupulous of a person. At least at this point in the movie, you don't feel like he really values JP like JP values him.
Well, he's
Um,
very emotionally closed off,
right.
you know.
And we find out that yeah, he borrowed 10K and he tried to buy Coke with it and resell it so that he could be 20, so he could make it 20K. Apparently was the plan. And we find out that yeah, he was dishonorably discharged from the Marines.
You know, it's always a bad sign because it's usually gambling. But if anyone's ever like, I'm going to take this money and double it, it's a bad sign. That's a bad sign.
Yeah, agreed. It never works out.
No.
Um, but he now apparently needs to go. He has this idea to make money or something, and so he goes to meet up with Eddie, who and so later in the movie claims he raised him. So I'm guessing they spent a lot of time with Eddie after the death of their
Uncle.
uncle.
Yeah, I mean that's certainly how the movie's implied because their mother is referenced once, but we don't ever know who she is. There is that other woman that was with the uncle, but that could have been the aunt for all we know.
Yeah,
Right? Like we don't really know. Dad, no clue. So yeah, Eddie was the adult, I guess, available.
lucky them.
I know.
So uh, when Mikey gets there, he Eddie says that he's got an idea for a deal, and that they're basically gonna uh, get his brother for 6 figures. They're gonna take 6 figures from a successful brother because they know his brother's way more successful, and they know exactly how much money to ask for that
Yeah,
he
he's
can come
got some
up
type of
with.
like construction business or something.
Yeah. And so, we never really see whether Mikey agrees with this or doesn't agree with it in the moment. It's kind of they want us to think that he agreed to it
Right.
because it's they want us to doubt his character. Um, but then yeah, JP gets like a letter in the mail saying that he needs to come up with 325K within like 3 days or something, or his brother dies.
Hmm.
And there's like a picture of his brother tied up and
He gets
uh,
that later, but yeah.
oh, there's something in there. I thought that showed they had his brother, but maybe not.
Well, he gets a phone call first. The first thing he gets is a phone call that says, "We have your brother." There's like the voice changer, right? "We have your brother. You've got 4 days to give us 350 grand."
Yeah, and he sounds like Darth Vader. Apparently, is what JP describes him as
Yeah,
later. Which he didn't sound like Darth Vader at all. But
not even a little bit. Marty
no,
McFly sounds more like Darth Vader in Back to the Future than this guy did. So,
exactly. Um, so previously we'd seen Mikey talk to Sal, John Cusack's character, but now JP is going to Sal. So apparently they both have a relationship with Sal. Um, is Sal supposed to be the third kid from that intro scene? Maybe I'm just now putting this together.
that's interesting. I had not considered that. You're probably right.
Okay, because it is interesting on the IMDb credits. He's credited as Sal, but then young Mikey's friend is a separate character, so maybe not. But either way, it seems like they both have had a long-term relationship with this character.
That is
Um,
interesting. It's an interesting thought. I don't know that it changes anything, but it's
the
interesting.
movie for me now changes to headwear spotting for John Cusack because every scene it changes a little bit.
Does it?
Yes. So here, this first when he first sees him, we got the
Oh.
same baseball cap on top of do-rag, except now the brim is facing forward.
Well, because he's got to be a little bit more undercover now because they're going to
Right,
talk to their
right.
informant.
And
Yeah.
yes, and so he's
He's
like,
got to
I
go
know
all
this guy.
MCU
He knows
undercover.
I know this guy. He's been undercover for a while. We'll go talk to him. And so the next scene now he has just the do-rag.
This is great.
Yeah, he just has the do-rag. And then when he actually goes and like walks up to the informant, he puts a hood from his jacket up over the do-rag. And then they talk to the informant. The informant's like, "This is the guy that stole the coke." Blah blah blah. And so they go to Mikey's house to go search for something. And now Cusack is just wearing a baseball cap, no do rag. And so while they're there, what a crazy coincidence. A guy breaks into Mikey's house while they're there. Potentially the worst robber ever, because this place has been empty for a good amount of time. Mikey's been kidnapped, and he doesn't decide to break in until there's two people there, including one cop.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Um, so they beat the shit out of him and get some information, and they're like, fine, he can go. And then they just let him go.
Yeah, because he's a drug addict. I claims he's looking for food and stuff. And Sal makes a good point, right? If you're gonna kidnap somebody and ask for a six-figure ransom, you're probably not coming back to the house to look
It's
for
true.
something. It's a fair point.
Um, it was around this point that the person I watched this with noticed that every time we see JP's baby,
Hmm.
that baby is wearing the exact same clothes,
Mm.
same outfit. They only had the budget for one baby outfit for this movie.
Yeah, I mean, so the rules for filming minors are really strict. Filming babies even more strict. I can't remember the exact detail, but it's something crazy. Like a baby can only work like 20 minutes at a time. It's really possible that they just shot every scene with the baby in like one day or two, and that was it.
Do you want to know a fun fact about this movie that I don't think is on IMDb?
Are there fun facts about this
There
movie?
is a fun fact about, well, okay, so I was doing some research after the watching of this movie because I was like, I needed more information on how this relates to Deadfall. This
Sure,
doesn't
yeah.
make any sense, whatever. Um, so the two guys that play JP and Mikey
Yeah.
did an AMA, also known as an Ask Me Anything, on Reddit to promote this movie.
Oh,
One of the things they said this about this movie is that it was shot in 13 days.
that's fast. That is very, very
Yeah,
fast.
yeah.
Because this is a
Um,
normal length film. It's 92 minutes. It's not super short. It's a standard movie length.
right. But there were definitely corners cut throughout the movie. But I'll go into some more interesting stuff that they said in that AMA regarding Nicolas Cage and
Please.
some other things as we go along here. But yeah, 13 days for the whole movie. So if you're thinking that the baby was filmed in two days, no. The baby was probably filmed in an hour.
Well, that's why I said a day, maybe two, and so that makes
If
more
it's the whole
sense.
thing was 13 days, no way. They did not spend a whole day with the baby.
Well, it's just because the way like the baby is in multiple scenes that take place in very different times. Like one of them is at night, and so they would have had to probably keep the baby on set for a full day.
Maybe. But one of the actors did say that he said that it felt like 3 months, which I don't know if that's a compliment or not, but
There's no way that's a compliment.
no, it doesn't. A lot of the things he was saying about this movie while he was supposed to be promoting it does not seem like something you would say about this movie if you want people to actually go see it.
That's rough.
So now on the Cusack headgear watch, he's wearing a headband.
Okay.
So not a do-rag, not a hat, just a headband like the Karate Kid.
Sure. Yeah.
We get this chase scene. I don't remember who they were chasing at this point, but I think it was the guy that oh yes, it was the drug or the guy that stole the coke from Mikey.
Right. Yes. Hmm.
And this is the first of several car chase scenes in this movie. When we first started doing the bingo cards, one of the first things we added to it was low speed car chase because we had watched several Nick Cage movies in a row that had cars going probably 20 miles an hour or less, but the way they were filmed clearly was supposed to make it look like they were going faster. And this movie is doing the exact same thing. Every action scene, be it fight, be it shootout, be it car chase, is so full of lens flare and shaky cam that you will not know what's going on at all.
Yeah.
And that was all I can assume is that was the intent.
Well, I mean, that's still a possible square. So, we have certain things on our list. We generate new cards. We each get a different card. So you're gonna miss some things,
Sure.
and
I did not have that on my
I
card.
don't have that
I
on
don't remember
mine.
the last time I saw that on a card, but
So
I'm sure it's a possibility. But I just thought it was funny because we haven't checked that box in a long time.
no,
But
I
now we had
just
the chance.
I just double checked because to your point, I can't remember the last time I had it on my card. So I did double check. It is in the bank of options.
Okay. Good to
So
know.
we just aren't getting it very frequently.
Yeah, so we get like a 7 minute chase full of lens flares and shaky cam. The shaky cam, I mean, I know you're not as much of an action aficionado as I am, so maybe it doesn't bother you as much, but it was
Oh,
undeniably bad in this movie.
well, the way I make up that ground with you is I hate shaky cam. I
And
hate
it
it
was atrocious in
so
this.
much. It's one of the reasons I don't like found footage films. I just don't like shaky cam. It is not helpful to me in the movie, and it is awful here.
It is, yeah, one of the worst like villains of shaky cam of all the movies we've watched, I think.
Yeah, this is a poster child for why I don't like shaky cam.
Yeah, it's bad. So yeah, they interrogate the coke thief, and I don't remember what they find out, but probably presumably something. Um, and
What did they find out?
while this is going on, Cusack is vaping
Yeah, yeah.
while wearing
That
back we're back in a baseball cap.
See, there you go. There's your answer there, right? He's vaping, so it can't be a prequel to Deadfall. It has to be a
Oh, okay.
sequel,
I was like, we saw that scene. I was
right?
like, was that a vape?
Yeah, no, you're right. It is a vape and the cell phones. Like it has to be a sequel to Deadfall, which again makes no sense. But you're right. He's
But in
vaping.
2017 would have been an early vapor, an early adopter of the
Um,
vaping.
I don't know about that. I knew
No,
I knew vapors then.
I didn't really know a lot of people that vaped back in 2017, so maybe you're right. I
It
don't know.
was back then I was working downtown and there were a lot of people vaping downtown.
Fair enough. Um, at this point, Eddie gets called back to meet his brother. He's got to go meet his brother. Now, this is where I have a question. Is this a throwback to Deadfall? Did we meet his brother in Deadfall?
So no. The answer is no. I did because I wanted to
I
check.
thought maybe this had to be a reference to Deadfall.
I thought so too, but no, we don't. The brothers that we have in Deadfall are Michael Bean's family, not Nicolas Cage's family. So we don't. I guess an interesting factoid is his brother in this is played by his actual real life older brother, Christopher Coppola.
Yeah.
So that's something. So, well, we get his family every once in a while, right? His like nephew or whatever was in that one movie that we watched a while back. Can't remember the name of it now. Oh well. Where he played the young, like in a flashback, he played like a young Nick Cage and looks just like him. Remember that? No.
Vaguely.
Yeah, that's all right.
Your memory
I
is better than mine.
I can't even remember what movie it's from, so that's not a great sign.
Yeah. Um, so we find out that the brother brought Nicholas Cage, Eddie there to kill him over the scam that they're running currently on the other brother.
So this is where the movie tries to be clever, and I do not think it succeeds. So what's going on, right? The Eddie and Mikey, we're supposed to believe JP keeps being told that this is not a real kidnapping, that Eddie and Mikey are in it together and they're going to split the money to screw over JP. That's what we keep being told all the time, and JP refuses to believe it. And one of the reasons that he's being told that this is a possibility by Sal, even by the way, is that somebody in Eddie's position would not do a ransom kidnapping. It's bad for the business and the other, for lack of a better word, families in these other locations like New Orleans would be pissed about it.
Turns out
Right.
he is.
So yeah, so that's what ends up happening. But it's supposed like so that is basically what tells us it's real. as when Eddie's brother shows up. Now we know, oh, it's actually a real kidnapping. Mikey's not in it, kind of thing.
Yeah. So I've remembered what we found out from the drug dealer guy that they
Okay.
interrogated. It was that the niece of JP is dating a guy in Eddie's employ.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so we get this fucking stupid scene. So the guy she's dating, she's at his house. He picks her up in like the middle of the night or whatever. And they're doing some drugs and sitting on the couch together. And the guy wants her to do more drugs and she doesn't want to. And he like screams at her like, "Do it, bitch," or something like that.
Yeah.
And she walks away and he gets up and like punches or slaps the shit out of her.
Yeah.
And as this is happening, JP is at the door, which is open while this is all going on, and sees this happen. And we get a slow-mo, which everything in this movie happens in slow-mo. Slow-mo like break in and like scene of JP in full rage, like trying to beat the shit out of this guy
Mhm.
for striking his niece. It was more funny than it was dramatic
Well,
because
because
of the slow-mo is not when the
yeah,
fight is happening. It's like him coming through the door.
it was supposed to be like this very dramatic, lucky timing kind of situation that just doesn't really work. And this sets up like the slow motion just becomes more and more as the movie progresses.
Imagine if you're a fan of 300 and you really love the slow-mo action and that. Imagine if you were an 8-year-old and watched that and it was like, I could do that. And then you made a movie. And that's what the slow-mo looks like in this.
It was like they were really excited by bullet time, but they were 15 years too late.
I think I have a note in here later that where I pondered maybe if the movie was too short, and so they just added a bunch of slow-mo to random scenes to make it an extra 10 minutes so that it would hit that hour and a half mark.
I mean, that's certainly interesting. I guess it depends. Like this was, to my knowledge, this was a straight to video movie.
I hope so.
And typically length requirements like that are theater requirements.
I was thinking more in the sense that like whoever was going to distribute the movie was like, we're not going to distribute an hour and 20-minute long movie.
Yeah, I mean maybe
You
that's
know what I mean?
true.
Like we need a minimum of an hour and a half. It's a Nicolas Cage movie.
Yeah, I mean, that may be true. There's always that Community episode, right, where they make a movie and it's like it has to be like 88 minutes or
Yeah,
86 minutes or
oh
something
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know if there's any truth to that, but
Maybe.
yeah, maybe it's something like that. That would stretch it out. We'd have to kind of do some testing and that I'm not going
I'm
to
not willing to do that. Yeah. So while Nick is in this kill room, because we go back to that, where his brother was going to kill him, and his brother has set up a separate kill room. This is presumably in a hotel somewhere that looked an awful like the hotel in Looking Glass. If I had to
It
be
did.
suspicious,
It
did you
did.
notice that too?
Yeah, I thought that
Yeah,
was really
I
funny.
was like, is somebody watching through the mirror or something?
Maybe they filmed both at the same time.
Maybe. Um,
I mean, they
but
only came out a year apart, just to be
Nick
clear.
Nick's backup, his like right hand man comes in and distracts the brother, and then Nick gets the upper hand on the brother, and we get a comical amount of blood and slow mo,
Hmm.
and
Yep.
like just like movie ruining amount of blood and slow mo, and it's not even like I don't have a problem with blood. In fact, you know, I blood is fine, but the amount of blood that comes out of his brother for getting punched in the face, it looks like somebody picture me punching Derreck in the face and a full gallon bucket of blood being sprayed onto me. Like somebody off screen just throwing a bucket of blood onto me. That's what it looked like. It was like a minor injury that just threw so much blood. It was like watching Army. We did this with another movie recently, Renfield. It was like, but at least in that movie, it was supposed to be a campy.
Right.
It worked in that movie. This movie never sets itself up to be that, but there's just ridiculous amounts of blood, more than what probably the human body even has in it. It's just ridiculous, and it kind of like ruins the whole thing. It's
It
not
does
funny or clever,
no.
or it doesn't add anything except make you go, "Where is all this blood coming from?"
It does explain why they need so many tarps, though.
Yes, that's what those kill
You
rooms
know,
are everywhere. Because if they didn't have those, there'd be evidence all over the place.
everybody knows that people in Mississippi just bleed more.
I guess, and they carry more blood in their body. I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
It's the heat.
it must be. We That's why there's so many mosquitoes there. This is
See,
where
there
around the
you go.
time it's confirmed that Mikey did not agree to this scam.
Right.
Um,
Which vindicates JP a bit. You know, he's believed in his brother this whole time and nobody else did.
right. Um, More bad fight scenes. I don't remember what that's in reference to, but I just put that. And we did have a slot on our bingo card for a while. I'm sure it's still an available slot, but I didn't have it, I don't think. That was bad fight scenes or bad action scenes, one of the
Bad,
two.
yeah, I think we removed bad action scenes because we ran into some trouble defining it.
It was
So we
just a little too,
it
yeah,
was a little too vague. I think we
yeah,
might have gotten rid of that one.
fair enough. But this would have definitely checked the box because there was not a good action scene in this movie.
No, it was bad. And I'm wondering if you're referring to the scene. Is this the one where Mikey tries to escape?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Because that scene
Oh
kind of
no, no,
bothers
no.
me.
That Yeah, we'll get to that. That's coming
Okay.
out.
Okay.
Okay. I don't remember what this one was in reference to, but it just says more bad fight scenes and more cartoonish blood.
Interesting.
Um, but JP had earlier in the movie, we didn't really cover it. We said that he owned like a construction company. Well, when this note came about his brother, he told his business partner that they need to start selling assets and getting money together. He needed cash.
Liquidate everything.
Yes. And we find out now at this point, because their money's supposed to be given in like 24 hours or something, that his partner did sell a bunch of stuff, but then he tried to invest the money that they got to make more money, which seems to be a recurring theme throughout this movie.
Well, he did this in the past. So basically, he bought a house, right? It was supposed to be some big investment. It's like a fixer-upper or something. So he was going to like flip a house for him,
Yeah,
I
without telling
guess.
his business partner.
It's also very illegal, right? And
Yeah.
JP is clearly trying to run a legitimate business.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So then we go back to Mikey, and Eddie visits Mikey where he's sitting in his chair, and Eddie asks him if he could read him a note that he wrote to his brother and get his advice on it, since JP and Mikey have a good relationship. And Eddie reads this note that, I mean, Mikey has no idea that he's murdered his brother at this point,
Right.
and so it's just a really weird note. I don't, again, like a lot of these scenes could have just been cut and it wouldn't have affected the movie in any way.
But it's on the
But
shorter side, to your point.
yeah, he reads in this note. It's supposed to be a funny note because he's reading this thing and he knows that his brother's dead, but Mikey doesn't know.
Hmm.
And he doesn't really want feedback on it. Like it's just a power play, I guess. I don't know. Um, so then we get a scene where when we talked about that house that had been invested in, JP tells the guy, I don't care how you get the money, it's on you. Get the money in like the next 12 hours.
Hmm.
And so then we get the scene with his business partner coming in with a full neck brace and a duffel bag full of cash and no explanation as to what he did to get this money. He's like, I did this for you.
Yeah, JP's like, did I do that to you? And he's like, no, I did it for you. Did what? Did you just fall down a flight of stairs?
Did
Like
you like
what?
go to a loan shark and they beat the shit out of you or something? Like, yeah,
And
what
then gave
happened?
you the money? Like that's the
Right.
thing. Like someone had to give him the money and beat him up. And I'm not sure I understand how both of those things happen.
It's a good question. I don't understand it either. It was very confusing.
The only thing I could think of is that did he like did he buy the house in a shady way? Like obviously it was illegal what he did, but like was it like an under the table purchase and he demanded the money back and so they like beat him up for making the sale fall through? I don't know. I'm trying to make it work. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's yeah, exactly. We get another scene with Cusack where he's just wearing the do-rag, but I don't remember what else was happening on that scene because I was fully invested in
It's
whatever
just
was on his head, and that was
too focused.
my sole focus whenever he was on screen. Um,
Oh man.
Mikey ends up freeing himself. We find out that this right-hand man of Eddie knows. I mean, Mikey and him are fairly close. They've known each other a long time.
Yeah, Luca.
Yeah. But Mikey is able to free himself and he breaks out into this plastic sheet coated hallway.
Yes, the same hallway that he walked down when he was a kid.
I guess probably with the same plastic sheets because they don't age. But they get in a brawl and Mikey stabs the shit out of him like 20 times.
Uh-huh.
But he manages to subdue him and he calls Eddie immediately. And Eddie's like, suck it up and tie him back up. And the dude's like, I've been stabbed a lot though, so it might be a problem. And then Eddie's like, I don't care, do it. And then he's fine.
The rest of the movie, he's totally
We
fine.
see him in fight scenes, he's fine. He's
Yep.
doesn't seem to be suffering from multiple stab wounds at all after this.
Like if you needed an extra scene, bandage him up.
Yeah. I mean, anything. He literally complains about being stabbed a bunch and then he's fine.
And then
it's
he's
never
totally
a
fine.
problem again throughout the rest of the movie.
It's really weird.
More green filter that was noticeably bad for me after this. So Eddie meets up with JP at like a restaurant.
Yeah, I mean it's like a Chili's or something. I don't know.
And he's acting like it's not him that's trying to get the money and that he should just pay to get his brother free. Like he's just a third party that's interested. It's a weird I don't really know what the end game was there.
Well,
Except
but
that
also,
he's going to get 200K.
okay. Now, this is a serious question. Is that a mistake? Or did he just randomly lower the amount for no reason?
See, I took it as, and maybe I missed something because of all the do-rag and hat stuff, but it seemed like he was saying that he'll handle it with the kidnapper for JP for 200K. Whereas the kidnapper was asking 325K, but he was going to be able to talk him down to 200K.
Okay, now I understand what you're saying. That is so weird and
That's the way
convoluted.
I interpret it. I could be wrong, but yeah, it was very stupid. That's where I was so confused. I'm like, what even? Why? Why is he even involved in this?
That's the thing that doesn't make sense to me. So in my head, the way he was talking was just kind of being like roundabout about it, so he's not like literally saying the thing
Yeah, I
because
guess.
he's a little nuts, but he's not like dumb, right?
Right. Um, so at some point, JP is worried that his niece is in trouble. Like
Hmm.
Eddie knows that, he can get to the niece or whatever. And so they go to try and rescue the niece, and they find the niece gone and the sister-in-law unconscious.
That you mean her mom?
Yeah, not sister-in-law, I guess technically, but yeah, the mom of
JP
the niece.
JP's yeah, I got you now. Yeah,
We didn't know if they were married or not. I just used sister-in-law because that was what popped in my head. But yeah, he finds her unconscious at her house.
with an empty bottle of pills.
Empty bottle of pills. So he carries her all the way back to his place.
Before performing any life-saving acts,
Right.
by the way,
He just decides to carry her for an unknown amount of time.
because we have no idea where this house
We don't know if
is.
they even drove. We just see him enter the house with her unconscious, and then we see them show up at his house with her unconscious.
It's beyond unconscious. She's not breathing when he finds her. Now look, I'm not a doctor. When you stop breathing, the brain starts dying. Okay? So like
Coincidentally, my brain started dying watching this movie, so I feel like I know what that's like. I have a very close relationship with what this woman was feeling.
He doesn't call 911. He doesn't try and perform any of the life-saving acts on his own, even though he's the one instructing his wife on what to do when they get to the house. So it's not like he doesn't know and like his wife's a nurse or something and she needs to be there, right? Like he's telling her what to do. So he It's been 10 minutes.
But then she pukes and she's fine.
And then she's fine. She has stopped breathing for what has to be 10 minutes minimum.
Yeah.
Right? Because
And
he finds her that way.
fully digested these pills.
But
But then she pukes and it's magically fine.
which, by the way, there's a reason if you go to the hospital, they pump your stomach. That's different than just making you throw up.
Derek, get your science out of here.
All
We don't
right.
worry about that.
I just, man, like.
Then we get Cusack with his do-rag under the baseball cap again. In an unknown scene. I don't recall what was happening there.
Do watch.
I learned a term.
Oh.
I work with a lot of younger Gen Z people. I work with several younger Gen Z people. And they taught me what aura farming is.
Okay, yeah.
You know what aura farming is?
Yeah.
Okay, well then you're a way better old man than me. But I know it now. And so now we get the scene from the beginning of the movie with JP aura farming, holding the gun. He's literally just like standing there in the sunlight, like at sunset, cocking a gun. Keep in mind that he cocks it because this comes important later. Standing there, just like with a slow-mo camera going around him.
Well, that's the thing. It's the Bad Boys shot, right?
Yeah.
You've seen the Bad Boys movies. There's always that shot. Now, in Bad Boys, you're a little bit below the characters when it's spinning around, right? In the second one, there's the helicopter or whatever, right? Shit just got real. Like, that's what that's supposed to be. But this movie's not up to the task.
Correct. So now they're gonna go rescue his brother and take care of Eddie. They're gonna kill Eddie because they know now that Eddie's involved. So they're walking through plastic sheeting, presumably at Eddie's like place of employment or ownership, because that's one of 10 places in town that have plastic sheeting everywhere.
It's just two places, man.
They get to his brother and they rescue him, and he gives him the gun that he had just cocked, and then his brother immediately cocks it again, but no bullets come out. Like usually if you have a loaded gun,
maybe it's a different gun.
It's the same gun.
How do you know he doesn't have two of them?
It's the okay. Yes,
Look,
maybe he has two of
city,
the exact same model gun.
This city is overflowing with Glocks. There's Glocks in cereal boxes. Okay, like they're everywhere. Maybe he just has two of them.
It's sure. But he cocks what looks to be the exact same gun, but to Derek's point, could be an identical copy. Unclear.
I think they sold more than one of the same gun. That's all I'm saying.
Right, but also, why does this guy have two of the exact same gun?
Because you want to know why? Because I think they were probably from Sal. They're probably cop guns.
Maybe that you need to cock 7 times before they work.
Yep,
it's like an air pistol. You have to like pump it up to get the velocity.
It's all airsoft guns.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so then they go to confront Eddie, and we get finally the payoff from the flashbang. They pretend like they put the money in a briefcase and they hand it to, I think it's Eddie's right-hand man guy.
Yeah, it's Luca.
He opens it up and flashbang. Who could have been
on the edge of my seat?
Yeah, we had no idea that would ever come back. It was so subtle.
Well, especially the way the scene is shot too. The scene is very much hand-holding you of like, hey, don't forget there's something that's gonna happen here. It's not gonna just open. You know?
Yeah.
I would have at least appreciated if they were more subtle with that. You know, because maybe like in the moment I wasn't going to be thinking about it or something.
There's nothing subtle about this movie.
No.
So now we get like a big messy action scene that you can't really see anything that's going on, but also you see everything that's going on because this is slow-mo.
So slow-mo, super slow-mo.
We get a slow-mo shotgun to somebody's nuts for some reason.
Yeah.
You noticed that, right? The bird shot to the nuts. It's like,
oh yeah. The dude gets like knocked in the air and then
Why is that the scene that they wanted to put in slow-mo?
I don't know, man.
Yeah, but it's literally like 12 minutes of, it seems, maybe it's not that long, but it seems like 10 to 12 minutes of slow-mo blood, and I'm talking blood everywhere, like gallons.
I think there's only 5 people in this room.
Yeah.
Like it reminded me, and this is not, I'm not comparing the two movies because one is good, but it reminded me of the church shootout in Face Off, where like 5 people are within 10 feet of each other and they all shoot like 1,000 rounds of ammo.
And no, but like 2 people get hit. Yeah.
Right? It just kind of felt like that because there's even a scene where Mikey is standing there shooting and bullets are literally just going past him. I'm like, the guy shooting at Eddie is 10 feet in front of you.
He's been a gangster, a mafia guy for like 30 years, and he can't hit a guy 10 feet away. He's like the worst mafia member ever.
It's so bad.
But Nick does shoot a gun, which is on our bingo card.
Yay.
And he gets shot and dies, which is also on our bingo card. Of course, with Eddie, is he really dead? We don't know because he could come back in Arsenal 2, Electric Boogaloo.
The return of Eddie King.
Yeah. And so then we get a scene after all this is done of the two brothers going to go play baseball. And presumably there's no consequences for mass murder because they both shot up a bunch of people and nothing happens. Even though neither of them are cops, one of them is an ex-military, disgraced ex-military, former mafia, criminal, but he's fine.
Look, Sal even makes a point earlier, like the reason they're meeting at this restaurant is so that way neither of you can touch each other. So clearly, like, law exists.
Right. And there wouldn't be police if it didn't.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. But that matters, right? So here, yeah, not only are there no consequences, Ryan, they get the fake happy ending.
They do.
Right? This is like the happy ending where like it's clearly not real. This is the dream ending. Everybody's smiling, everybody's back together. Even the ex-wife is there. The daughter's there. She's joking around now. She's not a vegetarian anymore. And guys, at best you just killed a bunch of people and 2 of you were almost killed. 2 of you were kidnapped. Not to get too dark, but who knows what happened to the daughter when she was kidnapped. Like, it's just bad stuff. But everything's fine. Everybody have a hot dog.
Everybody, yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much how it ends.
That's the fucking movie.
So this is an extra one because I found this and I think it's funny to talk about some of this stuff. So yes, like I mentioned earlier, the 2 main actors of this movie did an AMA. It's a little confusing because they shared an account, and the account name is Arsenal Adrian John, which is the first name of the 2 actors. So you don't necessarily know who's responding to these. But somebody asked, what was it like working with Nicolas Cage? And the account responded, the first time I met him was literally in the scene where my character JP goes to negotiate with his character Eddie to get my brother back. He was in full character, so technically I've never met Nick Cage, but I did meet Eddie King. Okay, so that was Adrian that said that.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah. Somebody asked, who are the best actors you've ever worked with? And neither of them mentioned Nick.
Okay.
Who? Oh, do you want to know who?
I mean, I'm just curious,
Tom Hanks, Ed Harris, Jessica Lange. They said younger actors, Sophie Skelton is going to be huge. I don't know who that is. Somebody asked to say one nice thing about Nicolas Cage's wig. The response was, Adrian's response was, DJT might tweet about it.
I don't know what that means.
Donald J. Trump might tweet about it. I'm assuming that's what he's talking about. And then Johnathan said there was a guy who lived across from us in Hollywood. He was 80 and wore a wig that made him feel 30. That's Cage. He's holding on to the past in a Deadfall kind of way. Somebody asked, what's the one role you regret playing? And one of them responded, the film titled 8mm 2 because it wasn't supposed to be a sequel to Cage's 8mm, and I should have known better than to think it would be like Last Tango in Paris.
So he was in 8mm 2.
Yeah.
Okay, not 8mm. That must have been my mistake. Never mind.
Somebody asked about any cool behind the scenes stories they could share about filming Arsenal. They said we shot this whole movie in 13 days, so a lot of the sweat and intensity you see on screen was because we were all working our asses off. It was almost like a play, shooting all at once. All the action and fight scenes were done by the actors, including the slow-mo flip I do in the end while simultaneously cocking the shotgun and disarming the bodyguard. Oh yeah, and ironically, the script called for a location with a video game arcade in the front and a strip club in the back. Seems far-fetched, right? Well, no, because we actually found that location in real life down in Biloxi.
Oh. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Somebody said, I've heard that Cage can run pretty wild and improvise his ideas a lot. Were there any particular scenes where he really kept you on your toes? And he said every second. One time he broke a real glass. It shattered all over the stuntman's back. I was so tired at that point. I think I blinked. Which I thought they just said that all the actors did their own stunts, but I guess they're stuntmen's. Somebody asked if it's going to be getting a UK release, and he said, it's streaming, so I think off the internet. What?
I don't know.
What did you both have to do to prepare for the role? He said, I did all this research on PTSD, went to Camp Pendleton, talked to some Marines about the bad conduct discharge and what it means. I looked back at my own life, how I could personally talk to Cage about being a fuck up. And I got on a diet of 4,000 calories a day, 8 meals, mostly proteins, and I trained heavy, tried to do a little cardio at night. I wanted Mikey to look like he could fuck you up. Well, you did a good job there.
Yeah, definitely. That worked.
How is it to be working with the iconic Nick Cage? Cage walked in, shook my hand, and said, let's do this. I was on my toes for 16 hours straight. He threw a glass, kicked a chair, cried, yelled in my face. I was ready to kick his ass at any moment. He really had a purpose and a plan. It reminded me of Keitel, actor studio stuff.
Mm.
So
that's good.
Somebody asked him, what was the first Nick Cage movie that you saw? He said the one he ate a cockroach in.
The one he ate a cockroach in.
Yeah, that would have been Vampire's Kiss.
Oh, right. That's the first Nicolas Cage movie.
Apparently, what a hell of an introduction. Anyway, that's all the really interesting related stuff to Arsenal and Nick Cage, but it's fun. You know, I think having done this podcast for so long, I'm constantly craving some stories from people. Like you can see him in the movies, you see how he acts, you see some interviews, but I want the stories from people that he worked with. You know, that's the fill in the gaps in my life of what I know of Nick Cage, you know?
Totally.
So I love reading that kind of stuff. You know, I don't want to read bad stuff, but it's always nice when somebody has nice things to say about him. So usually at this point in the podcast, we don't do the AMA. We would have gone straight to this, but I couldn't skip that. So we go through some of the reviews for the movie to see if, you know, we agree or disagree with them. I have some 1-star reviews and I have some 10-star reviews. Derek, do you think I should look into the 1-star reviews or the 10-star reviews first?
Let's start low today. We'll end on a high note.
Start low. Okay. So the top most helpful review on IMDb says, in the bonus segment of the DVD, director Stephen C. Miller described the film as depicting the deep ties and loyalty in a family. Indeed, the start of the film has good potential for lifelong bonding of two brothers, Mikey and JP. So far, so good. The film suddenly lurches away from the human and family element into a predictable and excessively violent action picture. When Mikey is kidnapped and held for ransom, JP must find $350,000, later awkwardly changed to $200,000 in a matter of days. The vicious local Don, played by Nicolas Cage, even plans to kill both brothers as well as take the ransom money. This part of the film lapses into gratuitous violence. It also features a grotesque, over-the-top performance by Cage, who wears a black wig. The promise of the relationship of the brothers was never fulfilled in a film that was a veritable arsenal of cliche characters, violent action, and a smarmy ending. Yeah. Left Banker 1's got 19 helpful reviews, so he's actually more helpful than the other one. You can never say that Nicolas Cage has hit rock bottom, because just when you think that this is true, he burrows down deeper, making his last rock bottom look like the top of Mount Everest. How many direct-to-DVD bombs can he make before they retire him for good? Lots of blood and many very poorly choreographed fight scenes do not make an action thriller. This is a completely forgettable love story, or completely forgettable story. Sorry, no love. And yet another script thought up by a person or people who watch too many movies. There's absolutely nothing about this film I could recommend to anyone. Not really sure what John Cusack was doing in this. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and pretty much all the other reviews are about the same. This person says, this movie is so bad I walked out. I almost made it to the end of the driveway before I realized I was watching it at home. The rest of the actors weren't too bad, but Cage's portrayal of a drunk, washed-up kingpin is pathetic. Yeah, that was a good one. Okay, so there's only 5 10-star reviews. Um, I am so sick of everyone not understanding Nick Cage. None of these ridiculous over-the-top roles in movies are supposed to be taken seriously. We've already established years ago that he can actually act and is super talented. He knows that and is content with that. He's the one celebrity who did his serious roles and decided to have hilarious fun with his fame. He's not interested in spending 60 years doing the same serious crap in sequels over and over. He's so different and fun. This man cracks me up so much. Me and my husband idolize him. If you're a fan of his over-the-top crazy roles with Cage Rage, this will be your fave so far. The plot and storyline itself are pretty bad, and so is the acting. But if you put it on just to laugh at Nick, then it's definitely for you. His ensemble and the slow mo are by far the best thing I've ever seen. Love him always. Side note: John Cusack looks hilarious as well.
So, I mean, I can appreciate some of that perspective, but if you talk about how like the story is bad, then you can't give it 10 stars,
Yeah,
right?
that's
Like, you know what I
yeah,
mean? If John Cusack looks ridiculous, you can't give it 10 stars. You can like the movie, that's totally fine. But if you're actively saying there's problems with it, then it's not 10 out of 10.
that's true. This person said, loved the 70s vibe and the cinematography in some places was jaw-droppingly amazing. I don't know about that. I thought it was extremely entertaining. Also, a heartwarming tale of the love between two brothers. Not sure
Yes.
why so many didn't like it, but maybe because I was raised in the 60s and 70s, it's more my kind of movie. Although I enjoy movies from all eras, I recommend it, but apparently it isn't for everybody. Okay.
I mean, I don't know. You and I both have brothers. I don't think this was a heartwarming brother tale.
Heartwarming is not a word I would use to describe this movie now.
No, no. That's rough, man.
Yeah. Okay, so now at this point in the movie, we usually do our ratings, both on caginess and on quality.
That's right. Yeah. So we have a 20-point scale because Nick is in a lot of projects, 125 to be clear as of now. And so one is low and 20 is high. Um, Starting with quality here, I think I went first last time. So I don't know, Ryan, if you want to give this a shot. I think I know where I'm putting it.
Yeah, I think it's like a 5 for me. I mean, it's real
Hmm.
bad. It's real
So,
bad.
so you think this is better than Gunslingers?
I mean, when you're scraping the bottom of the barrel, it's really tough. But I would probably say yes. I mean, I could be talked into a 4 probably. It's not it's not good.
So I was going to give it a 4 because that's what we gave Gunslingers. And I think that this is exactly the same
Well, then
quality
let's
of
call it
film.
4. I'm fine with that.
Okay. All right. So we'll each give it a 4 then on quality. I think that
It's a
that
little
is
easier for you
fair.
because you have the list of all the scores you've given other movies. I'm just going off the top of my head. So,
I do. I do have that. You know, I mean, we gave Time to Kill a 4 as well. That's a harder movie to watch, I would argue, but for
yeah.
different reasons. And we gave Inconceivable way back in the day, episode 4. We gave that a 5.
I would agree that
So
that was a better movie than this, but not by much.
not by much, right? Exactly.
You
Exactly.
know,
Then we have our caginess. And, you know, this one can be difficult,
it's
particularly,
especially difficult because we've seen this character before in
yes,
Deadfall, and we gave that like a 19 or an 18. It was a high rating
we
for
gave
his
it
caginess.
a 19.
Yeah, that's like the second cagiest movie we've ever watched.
Yeah, pretty much. The only thing higher, I don't even know if there's anything
Vampire's
higher.
Kiss.
Vampire's Kiss was a 20, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's it, man. Like that's the only one that is rated higher. And so, you know, clearly he is not to that level here.
No, he definitely the character is more subdued in this movie.
But it is a little tricky. Like I don't really want to give it like an even 10. So I'm thinking maybe like 11.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I was thinking it's on the upper tier of average caginess. So yeah, 12, 11, 12 in there, anywhere in there is right about where I would be with that too.
All right, well then I'll give you a 12 and me an 11, so it'll be an 11 and a half, kind of split the difference there. I think that's fair. That puts it pretty nicely in the probably not so good
Right.
part of our Cage-O-meter. So we have an interactive Cage-O-meter. You can go to comingofcage.com for the link to that, and you can see where we plot all of our movies. And if you think of it as quadrants, right, you've got high cagey, high quality. Those are, great movies. These are really
Those are
good.
the golden chalice for the Cage fans, for
That's
sure.
right. Yeah, those are the movies you wanna see. Below that, you'll have high quality, low kg. So those are his dramatic roles. Pig, Joe. They're heavier movies, they're dramatic movies, but they're still very good movies.
But not necessarily what you're going for if you're looking for a Cage specific movie.
Yes. The other two quadrants are bad movies that may or may not have a high kg value. So if it's a bad movie, high kg, that's like Vampire's Kiss, Prisoners of the Ghostland.
There's some
Um,
gems in there that are like so bad they're good. I would put Vampire's Kiss like in that.
they're worth a watch
Yeah.
for fun. They're not going to be a good movie, but you might have a fun time watching
Even Prisoners
those.
of the Ghostland, yeah, like that has artistic value, you know.
It's certainly unique, right? But then you have the last quadrant, low quality, low kg. And those movies tend to be dull, boring films. There's not a whole lot to write home about. Some of them, I can't even remember what they're about at this point, right? Like Rage, for example. Like that one's in my head. I can never remember what it's about. This is teetering on that quadrant, right? It's going to be low quality and it's just above average, just over that line to the high kg. So probably not one of the more fun films
Right.
to watch there. But go to comingofcage.com for the Cage-O-meter. You can see that we update it. We lag behind a bit because we want you to listen to the show, right? We're not there's no ads, there's no money here, but we do want you to listen to this. So we update that a little bit lagged, but you can go out there and see how it lands. So last but not least here, we have to figure out which movie joins our Wheel O Cage. And so we spin our Wheel O Cage, again, comingofcage.com for the links to that. We spin that and it picks which movie we watch next. We do not right now have every movie of his available on the wheel. So when we watch one, we have to replace it. So leaving the wheel now is Arsenal. Joining the wheel and becoming eligible to be picked is Mom and Dad. Mom and Dad, which I didn't really know much about until I watched Looking Glass. I had that on DVD, and one of the previews was Mom and Dad. So now I at least know what the movie's about. That
Nice.
movie looks bonkers and fun. I'm just going to say that right now. But I don't know when we're going to talk about it. There's still lots of other movies on the wheel right now, sitting on the wheel, along with Mom and Dad, are most recently The Surfer. And we also have Long Legs on there. So two new ones there. Wild at Heart, Ghost Rider, Kick Ass, and The Wicker Man, among others, are currently on the wheel. So any one of those could be next, plus more. Go to comingofcage.com for all of our links and videos. You can watch our Wheel O Cage spins. You can watch our Cage-O Bingo series. We've been talking a bit about Cage-O Bingo. Did we get a bingo? You'll have to find out there. You can subscribe on your podcast app of choice to Coming of Cage. We're available on all those places. And you can also watch us on the Derrico Studios YouTube channel. Comingofcage.com. All the links. Ryan, anything else for Deadfall 2?
No, I'm happy to be done talking about it.
Fair enough. Me too. But I had fun. This was fun. This is a fun one to kind of pick apart, which is not always the case.
True.
All right, everybody. I'm Derek. That's Ryan.
We'll see you next time.